So as today, back for another video on the channel. Today we're going to be talking about the Newcastle United player ratings for the 2017-18 season. There's a lot of ups, lots of downs, and let's just get into it. I don't want to be doing loads of talking in this video, but I just want to give all my player ratings, so let's get into it. Firstly, we're going to be starting with the goalkeepers, Rob Elliott. He started off our season as #1, and he had a lot of ups and downs, and lots of injuries did hit him. That's why Darlow had to come in, but for Rob Elliott, I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. I would like to give him higher, maybe it's a 7, but I'm going to give him a 6 out of 10. Next up, we're going to be talking about Darlow now, and he had to come in for Rob Elliott. I'm going to give him a 6 as well. The reason I'm going to give him a 6 as well is because he made a lot of mistakes. And some of them mistakes cost us games, like the Everton game at home, silly mistake. But he did put out some really good performances, like Stoke away from home. He was fantastic in that game. But I'm going to give Darlow a 6. And finally, for the goalkeepers, Martin Davadga, I'm going to give him a solid 10 out of 10. Completely deserves it. He came into the squad against Man United and got man of the match. Absolutely fantastic. We've signed for 4 million, and I'm excited to see him next season as a permanent deal. 10 out of 10 for Martin Davadga. Starting off with the defence, DeAndre Edlin, I'm going to give him a 7. Loads of people love DeAndre Edlin, but I don't think he's that good, mate. He's brilliant going upwards. Me and Josh both say that he should be a right midfielder, but he's not a right back. He cannot tackle for anything. Don't blame us, he works hard, but he just can't really defend, and that has cost us a couple of games. That's why I'm going to give him a 7. Next up, the man who just hasn't had a chance this season, Javier Manquillo, I'm giving him a 4. It might sound a bit harsh because when he did get dropped out the side, he actually was putting some good performances, like Stoke away, he done alright. But when he came into like Watford away, it was his birthday on that day. Absolutely shocking. Some games that he just simply cost us games, like Leicester at home. Did mark his man, jogged back, lost the game in the late moments. I'm going to give Javier Manquillo a 4. Next up, the player of the season, Jamal Lascelles. 100% 10 out of 10. 100%. I don't understand what he's done wrong this season, but his injury did cost him around November, December time, and I think if we did have him, we could have a better chance going to Europe, but you never know. Next up, we've got Florian Lejeune, his first season in the Premier League. I've got to give him a solid 8. He started off very, very rusty and just like very slow, and since the end of the season, him and Lascelles have partnered up fantastically, and I can't wait for next season to see him play because he is a brilliant defender, and I really do like him. I'm going to give him an 8. Kevin Clark, don't like him. I think he's a championship player. I'm going to give him a 6. He's alright, don't blame us, he's a good player, just he's not right for our team, and he's good for a very, very low Premier League side, maybe it's like a Huddersfield, but he'll be fantastic for a very high championship side, like an Aston Villa. He could go back to Aston Villa, who knows. Next up, Chancellor Mbemba. What's happened to him? He's meant to be going to Porto, Anderlecht. He will be moving in the summer. I'm going to give him a 4. He must be doing something wrong, because if he's not getting put on the bench, that's saying something. He was doing well. He played well against West Ham. He played well against Swansea. He played well against Stoke. So that round when he came in playing right back, I thought he'd done alright, but obviously probably Clark better than him, and then Lejeune and Lascelles, he's not going to get near them. I'm going to give him a 4. And finally, our only left back basically, Paul Dummett. He did get injured on the first game of the season against Tottenham, and he didn't play until around December time. Since he's came in there, not one player has gone in that left back position. I'm going to give Paul Dummett a 9. His slide tackling's perfect, his position's perfect, his timing's perfect. That's one position we don't need to improve for next season. Paul Dummett's fantastic. Gonna have to give him a 9. Moving on to the midfield now, starting off with Jacob Murphy. came in the summer with very little Premier League experience, and he done well against Man City away around that period of time, but he deserves more of a chance personally. I do like him. I thought he played well against Chelsea last game of the season, but he hasn't had the chance to properly show Rafa that he is able to start games week in, week out. Going to give him a try in pre-season and see what he's like, but I'm going to give him a 6 for this season and hope for the best next season, Jacob. Next up, the Magic Man himself, Matt Ritchie. Brilliant player. I'm going to have to give him an 8. Works very hard on the right-hand side. Passes the ball excellently. His positioning's fine. He can cross a ball. He does everything like you want to need. The only thing that I would want him to do is communicate more with Yedlin. He does do it, but I would like to see him, because obviously Richie can't bomb down the line how Yedlin does. See, if Yedlin's there, he can pass down to Yedlin, then he can run down the line. But Richie, fine season. I'm going to give him an 8. Next up, we've got Mo. Big Mo Diarmi, fantastic in the midfield near the end of the season. I'm only going to give him an 8 just because of the start of the season. Remember, for the Everton review, my intro was, I don't want to see Mo Diarmi in the start 11 ever again. Was I going to see it at the end of the season? Definitely not. We're linked with Aussie Cup, so most likely Mo Diarmi is going to be taken out of the squad. But he is turning to his age, 31 years old. But I do like Mo as a player. If he stays like that for the rest of the next season, he should be absolutely fine. 8 for me. Next up, the Spanish lad, Mikel Merino. He hasn't had his chance. He really hasn't. Since Mo Diarmi came in, he hasn't had a start. He had one start against Liverpool, and that was it. I've given him a 7 because near the start of the season he was fantastic, and I thought him and Shelby were amazing in the midfield. But is he going to move next summer? Who knows, but Big Al, if you do leave, all the best. But I'll give him a 7. Next up, John Joe Shelby. Going to give him a 9. I would have given him a 10 if it wasn't for his anger at the start of the season, getting 2 red cards in 2017. He has released it. He can get 1 card in the full of 2018. And he's shown that he can do it. He's got 2 goals there, and his passing's amazing. Maybe should have called up for England. I'm not going to mention this anymore because I've mentioned it so much on my channel at the minute with the World Cup. But Shelby, could have to give him a 9. Next up, we've got Isaac Hayden, and for me, I do like him. It's just he hasn't had his chance like Mikel Merino, but Mikel Merino's done it. Hayden this season hasn't. For me personally, I would send Hayden out on loan since he's still very young. Send him out to a championship side and maybe like a different league to see his experience there, and hoping to come back and be better and stronger. But Hayden, it's a bit harsh. I'm going to give him a 5. Next up, we've got Christian Atsu on the left mid. Didn't get his chance since Kennedy came in, but he done alright at the start of the season. He scored 1 goal against Stoke, 1 goal against West Ham. I thought he done alright, but gonna give him a 6. But he's put on his Instagram saying that he's working harder. He only went on holiday for a couple of weeks, and him and Jacob Murphy, the 2 players that want to improve, they started training 3 weeks early. So good luck to them in training, and I've just got to hope Atsu all the best, because I hope to God he gets his chance, since I don't know about Kennedy. Now, Kennedy. Will Kennedy sign for Newcastle? I'm going to leave a poll now. Will he sign for Newcastle? I don't think he will. 20 million's on the board, but will we sign him? I would absolutely love Kennedy to sign because he's such a fantastic Premier League player. No wonder teams like Bayern Munich, PSG are going after him, and we were lucky enough to have his at the club for the few months he was here. I've got to give Kennedy a 9. Completely deserves it. He's been fantastic this season, and I just hope to God he does sign next season. Let's get on to the attackers. Starting off with the central attacking midfielder, Ayoze Perez. Today it got announced that he did get goal of the season with his goal against Leicester. Fantastic goal. At the start of the season, he was not the best. I didn't find him great whatsoever. but now scoring 10 goals, Newcastle's top goal scorer, got to give him an 8. If it wasn't for his start, he probably would have got a 10. Top goal scorer getting double-digit goals, I'm going to give him an 8. Now on to Dwight Gale. He's linked with Stoke. I would like to see him go, but what was his season last season? He scored 6 goals, but he just didn't have the season like he did in the Championship. I think if he didn't have his injury, I think he would be fine for the Premier League. But injuries hit him. He didn't play. Hosselu was over him. Gonna give him a 6. And now to Hosselu, the main man himself, the Spanish lad who loves his Instagram stories. I'm gonna only give him a 5. To be fair, off the ball, I think Hosselu is great. Personally, I think try to win headers, he does try to win them. But on the ball, dribbling wise and shooting wise, he just hasn't got it for a striker. If he was a cam, I think I would like him as a cam, but he's not a cam, he's a striker. Gonna give Hosselu a 5. And finally, he's not an attacker, it's Rafa Benitez. 10 completely. Saving our 2018, only losing a couple of games, maybe 4 or 5 games. Fantastic. His tactics work fantastically in some games, and poorly in some games, but I think he has done amazing to change our club around from when he came in the relegation season to win us the Championship to now. In next season, he needs the funds to sign players. We've signed Martin de Vadga, and that is it. We need to sign a midfielder, 100% a striker, a defender, and a winger. That I will take. But everyone, if you did enjoy the video, could you please leave a like on it, comment and subscribe if you're new. And if you want to see more ranting videos about Newcastle, leave a comment and like before you do it. And yes, thanks for watching everyone. Goodbye.